A few months ago, I made this short. It was supposed to be really fast, but I underestimated how much you actually want to learn how to make a button. So here's the full version of how I made that video. First, we're gonna need a screen GUI object. You get that by clicking the little plus next to the starter GUI. Locate it on the menu that shows up and click it to add it. Now that we have that, we're gonna need a button. This is the same process as before, but select text button instead. I personally do not like how the button looks right out of the gate, so I usually have a routine to spice them up a bit. First, we add a UI stroke object, same method as before. We first change the apply stroke mode to border so that the border does not surround the text instead of the button. Then we set the width to 4. Adding this UI corner will let us round the button off to not make it as harsh to look at as the previous square one. Don't forget to scale the text, change the text type, and add another UI stroke for the text itself. This UI stroke needs its apply stroke mode set to as contextual so that it surrounds the text instead of the border. A white button is fine sometimes, but not today. To do anything with this button, we need a script. We're gonna select the local script because that's the one that runs on the player computers. This event will activate when the button is pressed, and in turn fire this print statement that just puts something in the console. Look at that, it works. But now let's make it do something a bit more interesting. There can be multiple players per server, but there can only be one server. That's why all of the game information runs through it. To begin with, we need an event called player added. This will fire every time a player is added. Unfortunately, we can't be 100% sure that the event is connected before the player is added. And therefore, we add this little loop below the event that will fire the player added function even if the event didn't get activated in time. To create a number on the leaderboard, as seen as in most Roblox games, you're gonna need any object named leader stats, all lowercase. In my case, I've chosen a folder because it's the one that makes the most sense. The folder is parents to the player, and then we are ready to add variable objects to it. Let's make an object called coins and parent it to the leader stats folder. Without a connection between client and server, we can't do much here. For that, we need a remote event. Be aware that adding a system in which a client can fire an event to get something without checking if they should actually be able to get that item is dangerous and could very easily be exploited. Anyway, having the remote event in replicated storage allows both the server and the client to get access to it. Using the event on server event, we can fire a function whenever the player activates the event on their side. In case we had more than one player, we're gonna check if the event player is the same as the player set up in the function. If they are the same, you then get coins. Now to finish off the client script, we're gonna get rid of the print statement. We're not gonna do much other than connect it up directly to the remote event that the server is also connected to. And that's how you make a working button and leaderboard, so please stop telling me that the short isn't actually a tutorial. I get it! So thank you very much for watching. Remember to head over to get yourself a copy of the test place on the link in the description. Good luck with your project and leave suggestions in the comments. Bye!